Every day on this channel, I cover everything Elon Musk said on X over the last 24 hours. And here's everything he said. As always, I'll cover one category completely before moving on to the next one. And starting with X, Elon responded to Arthur McWaters, who said Elon buying Twitter and restoring free speech was unironically one of the most pivotal moments in the 21st century. Its effects will be studied for generations. As an example, Paul Graham posts the rise and fall of wokeness. The chart below tracks diversity, equity, inclusion commitments, and corporate security disclosures filed with the SEC. Paul says, "To me, this seems a trailing indicator. Most other measures of wokeness take off well before 2019 and peak in 2020 or 2021. But the shape, that's what a moral fashion looks like. And you can see the commitments do indeed spike in 2021 and then they level off around here." And for reference, this is when Elon purchased Twitter in November 2022. And Elon posted a meme that said, "How did it come to this?" And the man in the back responds, "Well, sire, the next time someone with a name like Grima Wormtug wants to fill out a job application," and Elon said the woke mob had turned Twitter into Wormtug to the world. And Nikita Beer says, "We're rolling out a small tweak to boost visibility of your posts to your mutuals, people who follow you back. We've noticed this data was missing from the algorithm and it made your friends appear less in your replies. This resulted in the reply section feeling more like a battleground with people you don't recognize. This should also help clusters form around interests more easily, which many people have asked for," and Elon reposted that. And moving on to artificial intelligence, Kevin Bass says, "Just a reminder that DeepSeek version 3 came out 18 months ago and was considered revolutionary at the time but is basically unusable today. There was a fierce debate at the time about vibe coding, and the argument was that large language models can never create anything new because they are limited by their training data. Those engineers were partly right, and vibe coding was a real nightmare. I cannot believe what we used to put ourselves through with Sonnet 3.5. But we also knew real new things could be made and that the detractors were wrong. I guess us non-engineers saw it mostly clearly. I would like to think so at least, because we were astonished at the new things we could do without the programming background. And we had nothing to lose and everything to gain in our enthusiasm. Then came Opus 4.5 earlier this year, which changed everything. Suddenly, real production code became possible with so much less friction and headache. Everyone complained endlessly about models being nerfed or quantized, but there was a steady march of progress from 4.5 to 4.8. Now a completely new crop of models is coming out that is not quite a 4.5 moment, but something close. We're not only getting more polished, but things are becoming a little freaky. Entire isolated domains become possible to combine with small teams or even just one person into new applications that would have required large infusions of time and capital in the past. My wife back in 2021 told me about artificial intelligence, but I was in healthcare. I thought she was being a little nutty, and she talked like something from a science fiction film was coming and she got involved in it early on. She never stopped letting me know that she was right, and she was. The next year is going to be wild. The world is truly going to change over the next few years. The scale of disruption will be a combination of astonishing and awesome, but also catastrophic. There are many amazing things ahead and extraordinary challenges and opportunities. We are living inside one of the biggest revolutions in human history, and Elon reposted that. I'm looking at Grok 4.5 for a second. John Sulkin says it's great that Grok 4.5 is faster and 90% cheaper than Fable 5. What really matters to enterprises, does it work? Grok 4.5 allowed me to complete what Fable 5 couldn't. Full ingestion, crawl, indexing, AI searchability, vault, file store app of 450,000 files with full app service, Ask, Wiki, and custom agent enablement. Intelligence layer enabled for an entire company by Grok 4.5. The only one that succeeded. Try it. And Farzad said Grok is the flow large language model. Grok 4.5's biggest advantage is its speed. It's smart enough to be comparable to the other models on most things, but that speed allows you to make little tweaks to your system so that the output is perfect. With the other models, it takes forever to do this, and you constantly end up outside of a flow state, which makes it way harder to do this. It's now my preferred model. And Elon reposted that. And Xfree says, a reminder, across much of the AI industry, user data is retained by default unless you manually change the privacy setting, and even then, opt-outs often apply only to future data, may be limited by exceptions buried in the legal fine print, and can be difficult to verify in practice. In other words, opting out does not always mean your data is fully deleted or excluded. The company's own way of saying opt-out may not actually match what users reasonably expect in the end. However, SpaceX AI just showed what going beyond the industry standard actually looks like. Running /privacy in Grok build to disable retention also deletes all previously synced data, not just data created after changing the setting, and prevents future code and session data from being retained. Elon also confirmed that as a precautionary measure, all user data uploaded to SpaceX AI before now will be completely deleted, with nothing remaining. Yet some people are having a selective outrage meltdown, acting as though AI companies retaining retaining uploaded data is some completely new revelation. Data retention has long been common across major AI products, while manual privacy opt-outs are often buried, limited by exceptions, or focused primarily on future activity. Meanwhile, SpaceX AI is setting a new privacy standard that goes far beyond what the rest of the AI industry currently provides by default. And Elon quoted that saying true. When we looked at what SpaceX AI said on this yesterday, they said we care deeply about your privacy and respected customer choice. For teams using zero data retention, no trace and code data is ever retained. All API key use of Grok build also respects zero data retention. If zero data retention is disabled, the privacy command is available in the command line interface to disable data retention, which also deletes previously synced data. You can run the privacy command to view or change your settings at any time. Today this was quoted by Cameron, who said, "Sorry, we're just downloading your entire computer and you didn't like that. Here's a privacy command to opt out." Cameron says, "Bro, LMAO, that's so effing stupid. I'm uninstalling the Grok command line interface. This crap is cursed as F." To which Jason, a SpaceX AI engineer, said the default in Grok build is off. You can also run /privacy and any synced data is deleted. Zero data retention is respected for both headless and interactive use as well. And Elon reposted that. And Falcon Ortiz says Grok 4.5, everybody loves it.
The amazing thing on all of this is that Grok is based for coding.
And he shows off what he created with Grok build.
So let's see how much time it takes. And he's just scaffolding, it's ready, and it's creating the full source, the data, the models, the environment, the volumetric lighting, and the UI. Look at this. We were just talking, we don't even have much minutes on it. We got the Raptors, we got the booster, this is 3GS. So as you can see, we got the Mecha Sigla Tower, the hot staging ring, the 33 Raptors, the pad number 2, and as you can see, you click on it and you have all the information. We have everything right here. And the flight test number 2, full stack, the booster. Look, you can use the label, the volumetric lighting, full stack, the tower. We have the information for the tower right here. Look the pad. It's crazy. I know that it's not exactly like the one, but just having this, it's huge. In Giant Bay, we have the green fines and the flaps. It's crazy. Also, just to have it in mind that we are gonna have maybe a launch of the 13th flight on the 16th of this month of July. So this is crazy. We have the chopstick. We have everything, as you can see.
And Tetsuo quoted this saying, "Crazy what you can build with Grok 4.5 and Grok build in minutes," and Elon reposted that. And Tetsuo also said the Long Horizon terminal bench paper landed around May and concluded that the results showed headroom for improvement. The best of the 15 models they tested finished 7 of the 46 tasks, and the mean across all models was about 2. That ceiling is what 5th place looks like on the current board. Grok 4.5 is now at 13 and Fable 5 is at 12. A single task costs around 9.9 million tokens, 231 episodes, and 85 minutes of wall clock time. That means agents are holding a plan across all of it and finishing, and that capability nearly doubled in 2 months. SpaceX AI is on top, and they marketed the 4.2 times output token efficiency, which undersells it. $2 in, 6 out per million. On a benchmark where one task burns 10 million tokens, the bill is dominated by input replay. And they say Grok 4.5 solves tasks in under half the number of steps, so there is less accumulated context to resend on every call. Efficiency compounds on the input side, which is the side that costs money. Fable 5 is one task behind. Their own launch chart has them losing deep SWE 1.1 to Fable by 17 points, and Grok 420 sits on this same board at 0.080 with 0 completions. So whatever happened in 4.5 is not a family trait. My read is the 4.5 jump came out of training alongside Cursor, which is a stream of real agentic edit trajectories nobody else has at that volume, and nothing in the counter evidence argues against it, compounding into the next checkpoint. And Elon says Grok 4.5 reaches #1 position on Long Horizon terminal bench. And moving on to Starlink, Starlink will provide high-speed, low-latency connectivity on board Fly Frontier, transforming every flight into a fully connected experience. Frontier Airlines says the Wi-Fi era begins. Starlink is coming to Frontier flights in 2027, calling this Wi-Fi the fastest Wi-Fi in the sky. And Elon reposted that. Falcon 9 just launched 27 Starlink satellites from California. Elon posted a picture of this taking place right here. And on to SpaceX. SpaceX was founded on one powerful belief. A future where humanity is out exploring the stars is fundamentally more exciting than one where we are not. Every Falcon launch, every Starship test, and every step towards Mars is built around that belief. The goal is not just to reach space. It is to build a future where humanity becomes a multiplanetary civilization, and Elon reposted that with this picture of Starship. And on immigration, Alice Smith says we could have closed borders and a welfare state, or we could have open borders and no welfare state, but of course we've chosen the most foolish and destructive option available. Open borders and a welfare state. The worst of all possible worlds. And Elon quoted that saying true. And on British politics, there's a right-wing wave in Europe. In France, Marine Le Pen is now leading polls to be the next president. In Austria, the Freedom Party is leading the polls massively at almost 40%. In Germany, the AfD party now consistently is #1 in the polls. In Norway, the Libertarian FRP party is leading the polls by a wide margin. Something is changing in Europe. And Elon reposted that. And Elon posts a video from Omar that goes through old 1990s technology, such as CRT monitors, Doom, how he used to develop photography, and all sorts of other early introductions to the internet. It's meant to highlight the fast pace of technological change, which aligns with Musk's frequent reflections on innovation and its history. And it also shows a clip of Musk when he was 27 years old, starting at PayPal. You can see him right here. And Elon said, ancient times. And I'll put this in the description if you guys want to check it out. And that, my friends, is everything Elon said today. We got to see Kevin Bass say in the next year the world is going to change because of artificial intelligence. He said it's going to be unrecognizable and there's going to be a lot of good, but also a lot of displacement. We got to see how Grok 4.5 is continuing to beat out Claude Opus 4.8 while still being much more efficient. We got to see how Starlink is expanding to more and more airlines, and the price of it will continue to come down as we're shooting up more rockets into space with Starlink. And again, I'm taking my grandpa, who's a NASA engineer who worked on the original space shuttle project, taking him to a Starlink launch, his very first launch. I'll be making a vlog. It's around a 2-hour drive, and so the entire drive I'm going to interview him while he's driving his new Tesla. If you guys want to see that video or get early access to these videos, consider joining the channel as a member, or simply subscribe, helps out a ton, and I will see you guys tomorrow.